Easy to see yourself as insignificant when you consider the size of the universe. When you look at the scale, you probably feel like a speck of dust. But you're not just a collection of atoms. You are the vehicle by which the universe understands and explores itself. Our DNA comes from the heart of stars. Eckhart Tolle says, you are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while. And it does that through us creating. If you picked any point in space, you'll see that there is no definitive center. Depending on where you look, anywhere and everywhere is the center of the universe. You will always be at the center of your observable universe. Everything will seemingly feel like it's expanding away from you. Why not decide that it is you, that you're the center of the universe? This could come across as self-serving, but I'll tell you why it's important to think of yourself as the center of your own universe. So it's you, yes, you, watching this YouTube video on your bed, you are the center. Why am I telling you this? So you can destroy the victim mindset that you've built up throughout the years. I'm trying to illustrate to you that if you're the center of the universe, then you're responsible for where you are right now. Oh, you thought this was going to be a comfort video? Nah, I'm going to tell you how it is because no one else seems to be telling you. These days, there's a culture of it's okay to be sad, overweight and lonely, and this is all done by design to keep you asleep, and it's something I don't personally agree with. A victim mindset then comes from blaming everything else in the world and everyone else for where you are and not taking responsibility. There's a concept called Locus of Control, which refers to your belief about how much control you think you have over the things that happen in your life. The problem lies in having an external locus of control. That means you think there's outside forces controlling your life. So if you win a game, you'll think it's because of luck. And if you lose that game, then you'll think it's because you've run out of luck. People who live like this usually have a victim mindset because they can place their blame on something else other than them. Developing an internal locus of control then means taking the reins and taking responsibility. You have personal agency over your life and your actions. The most successful people have developed this over time. Some things may feel out of your control, but your response to them is still in your power. You can either sit around and play the blame game, or you can take accountability and respond accordingly. Truth is, the world doesn't care. It doesn't even acknowledge your complaints if you blame it. You don't realize that you're actually still blaming yourself because you're the one who created that world with your actions. Work on developing this internal locus of control and watch how the universe bends to your will. But how do you do this? Let's be honest, you only feel like a victim because you lack self-belief. I've been there too. You don't believe you're worthy of being the center of your own life. You probably fear rejection and disappointment so much that you expect it. You expect it and reinforce this victim behavior in everything you do. This is what leads to the half-attempting attitude when it comes to anything in your work or life. You waste precious time dreaming of a future instead of engaging in the present. Since nothing seems urgent to you, you're only half involved in what you do. You hurt your own progress by half attempting and tell yourself that you didn't want it anyway when you don't achieve it. This is typically the problem when it comes to having a victim mindset. You always find some sort of cop-out or excuse. The switch from victim to creator means accepting everything in your life as your fault. I believe there's no nobility in victimhood. I've been in compromising positions in my life and my business, but I don't shy away from taking responsibility for it. Even when it's seemingly not my fault, I still tell myself that I should have prepared for it. Maybe this is a destructive mindset, but I think it's a better worldview than playing the victim. And before you get onto me, of course there are instances in which you can't blame yourself, such as natural disasters, war, death and so on. But for the most part, there's more utility in taking responsibility for the things that happen to you in your life than for blaming it on some external force. So in saying that, I think 99% of your life is dictated by your actions. So these are 4 things I did to break that victim mindset. Take responsibility. Hold yourself accountable for your actions. It comes down to perspective. You should be empowered by the fact that you can get up and choose to change your life at any moment. Stop blaming everyone else, your parents, your friends, your city you live in. Beat self-doubt with action. Self-doubt disappears when you begin walking. Walk and the path will appear, as Rumi says. Anxiety stems from not doing what you know you should be doing. You have to build an undeniable stack of evidence and prove to yourself that you are who you say you are. That comes from staying true to your word, executing on your plans and not becoming attached to the results. You can't outsource your self-worth either. It's something that comes from inside of you. If you rely on other people's validation, then you'll forever be at their mercy. Be prepared for self-sabotage. The professional is prepared each day to confront his own self-sabotage. We get in our own way, but blame others. We blame the world, but we should blame ourselves. We try to sabotage our own work and purpose, unconsciously or consciously. That could mean putting off tasks or letting ourselves get distracted. Self-sabotage is when we engage in behaviours that directly conflict with what we want to achieve. It works in disguise, so it could be masquerading as procrastination or comfort eating. But most of the time, self-sabotage is born out of the stories we tell ourselves about why we can't achieve our goals. We justify our intrusive negative thoughts and let them take over. You have to conquer these thoughts and behaviours each day because it won't get any easier. The resistance will only grow stronger the more you progress. So you have to remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. And finally, stop getting attached. The Stoic mind is one that is rational and reasonable. You can objectively look at any circumstance or event without emotion and make an accurate judgment of what to do next. Attachment is a root of all suffering. Attachment to desire is what creates imbalance in nature. It makes you behave in a way where you convince yourself you're not worthy of whatever it is you want. Stop pedestalling desires. You have to match them. It's a level playing field. If you pedestal them, that means they're above you. Did the desperate guy ever get the girl? Or vice versa? If you treat them like a celebrity, they'll treat you like a fan. And it's the same with any goal that you may have for yourself. Desperation demagnetizes you and pushes you further away, and then reinforces the victim mindset because you didn't get what you wanted. You have to first become what it is that you seek, and then you have to focus on the process and detach from the outcome. Only then will you start seeing things coming your way. So in saying all this, you can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to break that program. If you're the center of the universe, then why would you choose to be a victim? You have to start changing the script and the story that we tell ourselves. You're a main character of your story and not a victim of it. This all starts with the decision. Whether you like it or not, you're a part of the universal picture. If you want to be the center, where you're in control and moving all the parts, or do you want to be some speck of insignificant dust, like I mentioned in the beginning? The choice is yours.
Most humans who could ever exist never will. And so the fact that you exist at all is against stupefying odds of who gets born and who does not. Realizing this, you are you, I am me. We are alive. We get to die. And to get to die means you get to live. Any moment you spend squandering those moments you are alive does disrespect to all those who will never even be born.
The gods envy us. They envy us because we're mortal. Because any moment might be our last. Everything's more beautiful because we're doomed.